Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killerrodan. So today I'm uploading yet another video for my original channel. Of course I will post a link down below for my second channel where I'll be talking about more movie stuff, related content more often. I'll post a link down below for others as well, if you want to see some video game related stuff. So let's just get into it, shall we? So yes, I'm reviewing the sequel. Oh yeah. Back to the Future 2. So yeah, this was definitely made. And yeah, what can I say about this? Yeah, the thing is that it was not planned, like at all. They didn't really plan to run this into a series, like at all. Even though if the well, I'm not going to spoil the ending for the first movie, but it did feel like it was leading to opening another one. But it here we go. They had to make another one because the first movie became an unexpected success, and the ending felt like a cliffhanger, so they had to do another one because of that to expand the story some kind of way. It's as though they placed themselves in a corner in some ways because they can't just leave the ending as a cliffhanger, and they had to somehow conclude the story, at least in some respects, I guess. And they just had to make a sequel based on that, even though it was never intended to be a sequel, like at all. So it picks up immediately after the first movie, like a good sequel should. When you think about it, I'll give it that. But anyway, of course, like always, let's talk about the plot, shall we? So here we go. Oh yeah. So yeah, like I was saying, it pretty much immediately picks up after the the first movie, and basically, of course, it does follow Martin McFly again and his friend Doctor. Here, this mad scientist, of course, again. And the thing is that they traveled from 1985 to 2015 to prevent Marty's son from sabotaging the Magnum Fly family future, I guess you can say. Yes, obviously, the arch nemesis Buff from the first movie does steal Doc's time machine. Oh, yeah, he definitely found a way to do that. Let's just say things can become rather complicated because, yeah, he does use it to alter the future for his own benefit. So let's just say Doc and Margaret McFly must return to the year of 1955 and just, of course, return to the original timeline, just restore it some kind of way, of course. And it's just a way to that is an attempt to continue the story in some kind of manner, obviously, and that's what they're trying to do here. It's a continuation of the movie in some ways. And yeah, after visiting 2015, Martin McFly must repeat his visit to 1955 to prevent these dangerous changes. Yeah, the thing is that when it comes to almost every other character in this film, they have plenty to do except for Marty McFly's girlfriend, really. Yeah, that one character from the first movie. I mean, granted, Marty McFly's girlfriend, she didn't really have anything to do in the first movie either, but like I was saying a moment ago, this wasn't planned. It just happened to be a successful film, which has results to hardly using the character for anything, really. So his girlfriend in this movie was pretty much like asleep or whatever. And yeah, that gets in the way when it comes to the narrative, really. She was pretty much literally just dead weight, which obviously is not a good thing, really, when it comes to storytelling. You don't want a dead weight type of character where she doesn't do anything and whatnot. So that gets in the way, unfortunately, of trying to further develop the story some kind of way. Yeah, that was different. If I had any problems with this, it would be that, really. It's like, come on. Anyway, the thing is that Back to the Future Part 2 was released by Universal Pictures on November 22nd of 1989, though the film did receive mostly positive reviews from critics. It was deemed inferior to its predecessor, and the film grossed quite a bit of money anyway, worldwide in its initial run, thus making it the third highest grossing film of that very year. So, in other words, it must have done something right, of course. In other words, so there's that. It doesn't count for something, I believe. At least as far as I'm concerned, it does count for something. So, in the grand scheme of things, I doubt this one was definitely going to center around, of course, Marty McFly's parents in some kind of way, obviously. So, again, it deals with the fact that, okay, that whole family, to be more exact, it deals with the entire family this time around. So, yes, of course, you have to be really careful on what to do when it comes to these characters, or just anything really. It depends on the specific things in the past to not to alter it. Really, it's kind of like revisiting the first movie. Yes, I guess that's one way to really describe this movie. Is that it's basically just revisiting the first film all over again, which yes can be a complaint for some people for who have watched this film. So there's that, and yes, it does feel somewhat of a revisit, and that could go against it in some ways. But anyway, in the grand scheme of things, I can say that while some people might be saying that there's way too many flaws for weighing this down, but as far as I'm concerned, the film does do a decent job with these characters, so it is better than what some people would claim it to be, obviously, and just trying to build around what was already there, obviously. And yes, of course, it's pretty difficult to make a constructed story. And yes, obviously, sequels are rarely any good as the original or even better. Yeah, sequels are often inferior to the original when it comes to sequels in general. I mean, okay, I wouldn't say that this is better than the first movie by any means, but it definitely didn't deserve a lot of the hate of the years that this film received. Yes, I know that's not exactly the most popular thing to say. If anything, it goes against popular opinion. But then again, like that stopped me before, really, because it didn't. It doesn't really, because of the fact that this is my damn YouTube channel. I do whatever the hell I want with it, I guess. So there's that, I suppose. But yeah, I just figured just talk about this film since I've already spoken about the first movie. So here we are. I thought, why not? Let's just talk about this, obviously, because as I said before, when it comes to other franchises, if I review one installment of the franchise, I might as well talk about the others. I mean, unless there's an obvious exception of some kind of way. Other than that, that's the general rule when it comes to reviewing franchises. If I review one installment, I might as well go for the others. At least most of the time. I would say unless there's a specific reason not to. But that's a general rule. The thing is that when it comes to sequels, yes, it could become repetitive. It could become a complete rehash. It's just gonna feel like been there, done that. Which, okay, granted, this did feel like that to some extent. It does feel like a bit of a repeat, true, but I do believe that it does have its own charm and enough flair to have its own thing going on in some ways. And I did think that this was actually a solid enough sequel that I actually didn't mind watching this. Yes, of course, just like the first one, I've seen this one as well quite a few times over the past several years. And yes, just like the first movie, it took me forever to actually get to this one, really. And I just thought, might as well just talk about it since I got through reviewing the first one. And I thought this was, like I was saying, a pretty solid enough film. And despite, of course, like I was saying, people not liking it really, Biff is definitely takes a lot of the screen time in this one. He is definitely a menace to Marty McFly. I guess especially so in this movie because he became like this really wealthy guy. And yikes, just wow, okay. Yeah, he's definitely proving that he can be a menace to Marty McFly and his family. And it really shows that. I like the fact that it really shows that he can be a sheer terror to all of them, all these characters anyway. And yeah, again, you do have to be careful on what you can do when it comes to Back to the Future. And just wow, okay, it's crazy in his own little way. And just he has to avoid his other self from the other movie from seeing him. There's that, gotta avoid that, of course. And just that, yes, okay. So, I mean, too much. I know a lot of people complain about the fact that seeing too much of the character buff was a bad thing, really, in this movie. Which I didn't mind, really. I was okay with that. I thought this film was definitely a way to develop that character, even though a lot of people would say that that could be the reason that this film wasn't very fun to watch, was because of the annoying bully buff, of course. And I thought the actor who played this character is really good, even though you can say that he does have a much larger role in this one than the other films. He had more of a role than all the other films in the series. So there was that. And a lot of people say he ruined the story, which again I do have to disagree with because I thought he was a good villain in this. And yes, of course, people just say that this one had a mean edge to it. It came off edgier than the first one and the third one. We didn't think about it, which again it doesn't bother me really. When it comes to making sequels to, I guess how do I put this? Oh yes, I can say this. When it comes to making trilogies, the second part should be the darkest, and it definitely shows it. It definitely shows that this movie is the darkest of the three, which personally I don't mind really. But then again, I tend to like gloomy stuff anyway, so I don't know. Whatever. There was that, I guess. And all in all, I didn't mind it really in the grand scheme of things because it's a solid sequel. So I'll give this an overall rating of a 7.0 10. It gets a 7.0 10 because it's not too bad. It's enjoyable. As always, thank you for watching and take care. Until next time, see ya. Oh yeah, later.